Welcome to another episode of Cooking with a Tech. Today I'm going to be making what I call Redneck shotgun wedding soup. The variation of Italian wedding soup. Kind of like with a sort of like a redneck twist on it. So Redneck shotgun wedding soup, or you can actually call it a and ball soup. So start out with a pot of hot water. I've already pre-made my meatballs. Have some hot water going, getting it ready. And I'm going to take about 2.5 packages of this really flavored soup mix. Take another drink of beer. Good stuff. All right. So start out with hot water, meatballs already made. I'll make those later and I'll show it to you in another part of the video. So I'm going to take the soup mix, pour it in. You see, it's kind of lumpy. Going to whisk it around. Try to break up those little lumps. Last thing you want is really nasty lumps in your and ball soup. First package down. Some pieces that came out of that package. That's probably about, I don't know, 5-6 cups of water. I don't measure a whole lot. I just add by taste. So we got a second package of mix. Whisk that in. Now this soup mix has some small noodles in there, so they will absorb some of the water. So it seems like a lot of water. Don't worry. It'll absorb up. They're sticking up. I'm going to whisk that around. Getting all the little pieces in there. Whisk it up, whisk it up. Let it come up to a boil. Eventually it'll get to boil. But similar to an Italian wedding soup, I am going to use some spinach in this. So before I add the meatballs, I like to use fresh spinach. It has a better taste. But keep in mind the spinach will wilt. So I'm going to add a couple handfuls of spinach. Look at that. Good stuff. Mix it around. But as you see, they're wilting up already. I'm going to add really another good handful. And a half maybe. It's going to take a few minutes to cook that down. So it's coming up to a boil. It's wilting down a little bit. Okay, so to make our meatballs, we're going to start out with some ground turkey. We're going to get the really good healthy stuff. Got to be a little bit of healthy. I'm using some 99% lean ground turkey. So we're going to go ahead and pop this open. use my handy dandy trusty pocket knife. I'm going to pop that open. I'm going to dump the turkey on in there. Now, I believe everybody should have some roughage, but it might be a little bit too much roughage. I'm going to get rid of that paper. Now, I like to use all kinds of different spices when I make my meatballs. And being a redneck type of meatball, I think we ought to use a little bit of a classico seasoning. Looks good. Has a hint of lime in it. So we're going to give this a try. I've had this before in other dishes. So we're going to give it a couple shakes. That's good enough. A couple shakes. I have some special chili powder. Got to black out the name so you can't really tell what it is. But I got some really special chili powder. I'm going to use some of this. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. A little bit more. Looks good. Give it a little bit of a kick to it. Time to take a drink. Got my really good German beer. Ah, good stuff. Good stuff. So to get a little bit of spice in there, or a little veggies, a little healthiness, we're gonna cut up some spinach and put it in the meatballs too. Not a whole lot. You only want to get but so healthy. I don't know, I guess a handful. We're going to go back. We're going to get our handy dandy trusty pocket knife. Something we all should be carrying. You never know when you're going to be making some meatballs. So we're going to chop this up. Chop it up really good. So spinach really gets in there. I think that's good. Now, put that in there. Time for another drink. A little bit of salt. Yeah, a little bit more salt. A little bit more salt. A little bit more salt. All right. So we have that all ready. We're going to mix all the ingredients. Some people say you should use an egg as a binding agent. Nah. Egg just kind of waters down the taste. So we're just going to go with these spices and the spinach and the meatballs. All right. You know what? One more spice wouldn't hurt. So what tastes better with our meatballs? Balls? It's a little bit of soup mix. So a little bit of soup mix with our meatballs and give it that just a little bit extra taste, a little bit extra kick to it. So we can add just a little bit, not all of it. We're going for spices in the meatballs. Keep on mixing. Oh, sorry about that. Keep on mixing. Keep on mixing. Keep on mixing. It's looking good. So after we're done mixing, almost try to get as much of that mixed in there as possible. Alright, now it's going to get a little messy. Alright, so I'm going to make these meatballs a little on the small side. They want to be bite-sized. When you're eating balls, meatballs, you don't want to stuff your mouth with balls. So a little small bite size, just perfect. So not too big, not too little, just the right size. Ooh, kind of falling apart. Massage that together. Since these are pretty small, they won't take long at all to cook. Remember, they're going to be going in the soup. So, if they're not completely done when they're done, when you pull them out of the oven, you'll be alright. Make a couple big balls, because you know some people like big balls, so a couple bigger balls. All different sizes, because you know in life they come in many sizes, so everybody makes their own kind of meatballs, own size meatballs. Big ones, medium sized ones. Don't have enough small balls. Let's make a couple small ones. We're almost done with the balls. One more big one, and then one more little one, just for good measure. There you go. Small balls. Of course, when working with any kind of poultry, you need to wash up. You don't want to get sick. Nobody wants to get sick while forming and fondling balls, so there we go. Those are the meatballs. I'm going to pop these in the oven. I'll probably check in them about 15 minutes, after which they should be ready. Now it's a good time to add the meatballs. Get off. All right, there we go. Now the spinach is going to wilt down. It's going to, pretty much cook down, and you're going to need more spinach as you go, just to give it that look and that flavor. We're going to let that cook. As it cooks down, we're going to add more to it. I want to be sort of healthy. We're going to add a lot of spinach to it. There we go. So we're going to bring it up to a boil. Once it hits that boil, we're going to want to take it off, take the heat down a little bit. We'll bring it down to a low temperature and just let it simmer. Because remember, that soup mix does have some pasta noodles in there. So you don't want to cook it too hard, too fast. There we go. So, alright, so we're going to let that simmer. All that's going to boil down. Give it a really good taste. I'm going to set it on simmer and we'll check it back in a few minutes. After letting the soup simmer for a little while, I would have to say probably about a good maybe 15 minutes maybe, it is done. So you take a look at that. The noodles and the soup mix have absorbed the water nicely and thicken the soup up. And it really does look like your classic Italian wedding soup. But I like to call this a redneck shotgun wedding soup, or you could almost say it's a and ball soup. So looks good to me. Spoon out a little bit. Getting plenty of the juices, plenty of the spinach, plenty of everything, plenty of the meatballs, more of the juices. There we go. So, with that, dinner is served. Yum. Eat 'em up and enjoy.